I'm Nazanin Afshin, human rights advocate and co-founder of Iranian Justice Collective. On this World Day Against Executions, I fully support the campaign No Death Penalty Tuesdays, and I applaud all the organizers. The Islamic Republic of Iran is a child-murdering regime. When Jina Mahsa Amini died after blows to the head by the regime's morality police, there was mass uprisings of people, millions in Iran, chanting woman, life, freedom, and demanding not only women's rights, but freedom, democracy, and human rights for all. In these peaceful protests, according to the UN's fact-finding mission on Iran, at least 69 children were killed in the past 2 years, indiscriminately shot at by regime suppression forces. Many others were injured and even paralyzed. The regime is also responsible for the highest number of child executions in the world. When I co-founded the organization Stop Child Executions in 2007, we had recorded 160 children on death row in Iran. For what crimes, you may ask? For sex outside of marriage, for apostasy, in other words, leaving Islam for another faith, for homosexuality, for drug trafficking, and for murder. It must be said, however, that the murders are normally school fights gone wrong, where one person ends up dying from their wounds. This is all despite the fact that Iran is signatory to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the Charter of the Rights of the Child, which forbids the execution of anyone who's committed an offense before the age of 18. However, all too often, I have seen this regime waiting until a young girl reaches her 18th birthday and then carries out the execution, because they ignore their international commitments and say that Sharia law supersedes all international law. And under Sharia, a 9-year-old girl can be considered having reached the age of puberty and thus adulthood, and 15-year-old boys the same thing, so they're deemed criminally responsible for their actions. Is this a cultural decision? No. The laws lag behind the norms. The people of Iran do not want execution of children. The vast majority of people in Iran want an end to executions, period. Right now, they have the highest number of executions per capita in the world, coming only second in numbers to China. And this is done without the rule of law, without proper due process, no proper lawyers or trials. Judges can even rule based on ilm qazi, which is a ruling based on the divine knowledge of the judge. It is a highly flawed judicial system, and I'm afraid to say that children and other innocents are heavily victimized. If you're wealthy and the family of the murdered accepts blood money, you can even buy your own pardon and freedom. What kind of a system is this? Since 2010, over 71 children were executed, according to the Swedish-based organization Iran Human Rights. And just as recently as last week, Mehdi Jahanpour was hanged for an offense committed when he was 16. It's time for the world community to come to the defense of innocent Iranians and do everything in their power to stop this regime from continuing with their crimes against humanity. Stop legitimizing this child-killing regime by cutting off your economic and diplomatic ties with them. And start standing and supporting freedom-loving Iranians in their struggle for liberty.